Yeah, this is a really poignant aspect that you bring up, and particularly with the Christians, because I know exactly what you mean, that they're so resistant to
Call
anything.
you a witch. Stay away from that woman. She is a witch, I tell you.
Exactly. And it's like this, and that comes from it's like a misunderstanding of what the snake in the Garden of Eden really means. Like, it's...
Well, let's get into that. What is the... I feel like you would be a representation of the snake, the knowledge. It's like, open your mind to the truth, to the feminine energy.
Yeah, well, archetypally, like if we take away the superficial meaning, actually it becomes very obvious what the snake represents. And what we need to see with Adam and Eve in the garden is, of course, they're in a unified state. They're one with God. That's why it's a heaven. It's the Garden of Eden, right? And of course, then the snake comes. And the snake, what does the snake represent? It represents deception, obviously. But why is it that the snake is the symbol of deception? And this is why. Typically, when people start to descend into the feminine, and I would say that physically and with consciousness, it translates to descending into the belly, because that's the earth. You're descending into because I am earth. I'm part of her body. So bringing consciousness down. It's not uncommon for people to start to have archetypal dreams that bring up these imprints. So some people go, oh, I'm not Christian or religious. And then they go into the feminine and they have all this like Christian mythology start to appear. It's like, okay, yeah, because the archetypes are there. So when people have dreams meeting the feminine, it's not uncommon for that to show up as reptiles, snakes, sometimes even supernatural forces, as it was for me, but typically snakes and spiders. And it's like, why is this? Well, if we think about nature and the evolution of nature, of the physical matter aspect of reality, the snakes and the reptiles are one of the oldest forms of life that go way and way and way and way back. So they represent matter. They represent the evolution of nature. So, okay, the snake's demonic then? No. The thing is, if the symbol is that when Adam and Eve listen to the snake, they are deceiving themselves by identifying with nature, identifying with matter. And that's not how it's supposed to be. You're meant to identify with spirit, and matter reflects the beauty of that. So what that will look like is, at a simple level, for layman's terms, I feel a lustuous impulse to go out and like fuck like crazy. And because I feel that in the body, I act on it. But I don't sense, is that actually in integrity to do that? Or if it's a food thing, I have a craving to, eat lots of bad food. Okay, you're attaching yourself to matter. You're deceiving yourself by thinking that your immediate animalistic impulses are truth. And of course, when you see a child, I mean, this is obviously what that stage of development is, because if you say, okay, I'm going to let my 5-year-old child like run its own life, then what does the kid do? It stays up all night. It reacts immediately to its emotional, physical nature. And of course, there's nothing wrong with the emotional, physical nature, but part of our growth is to integrate and have a mastery over the animal body. And that doesn't mean repression, and it doesn't mean excessiveness. It means to be integrating the body's impulses with love, which is spirit. And so what happened in the Garden of Eden was that they put matter first. They put matter before God. And it's meant to be, I center in spirit as the truth, and then I integrate into matter, and she reflects that. But if I put the cart before the horse, this is where all sorts of shit starts to go wrong. And I start to I descend into my animal nature. And the animal nature is beautiful and must be integrated. But if you're just that, then you become an animal. You see
Absolutely.
that.
What is liberty?
What the? Who says you can't build muscle on a vegan diet?
What's it like being a hottie in the vegan community? There are no political solutions, only technological ones.
The economics of the system don't allow multiple competing systems to survive.
Engineering, technology, these arts of humanity, they are magic.